one of the actions that business analyst or AP manager could take away from this is to work specifically on the communication towards the line of business, to do the good receipts more often, to be just on top of this task.
Yeah.
We can see that some invoices were received within a day, and for some of them we had to wait more than 5 days. And of course, if you have to wait more than 5 days for an invoice and you have payment terms of, let's say, 10 days, then you are seriously in the risk of delaying this payment.
Hey Mario, how are you?
Hey Jamie, doing well. How about you?
Yeah, very, very good, thank you. Do you mind just giving everyone a quick overview of who you are, and then I'll explain why we're here?
Yes, I'm Mario Kukec, and I'm a project management manager here at Turnpikes. And we are here to give a short overview of the Insight and Analytics, the product of Turnpikes.
Fantastic. So can you very quickly let everyone know why this product exists, first of all?
This product exists because we have identified the gaps in the reporting that comes out of the box from the vendor invoice management by OpenText. While vendor invoice management is a great software for managing the invoices, it does lack certain capabilities when it comes to the detailed reporting. So and we are here to cover this gap.
Okay, cool. I mean, let's jump into it, right? I think looking at things is often better than talking about them. So let's jump straight into this and see what we can get to.
So I will start with the vendor invoice overview, which is the first dashboard that we have in our portfolio. And when we open the dashboard, you can see the overall layout, which is present in all our dashboards, and which consists of the filtering selections on the left side and of the overall report on the right side. So in this dashboard, you can see for example, number of documents in the specific period. So if we do the selection on year 2023, then dashboard automatically refreshes to the documents that are only relevant for 2023. In the same way, you can filter on the specific company code, vendor, channel, or invoice type. Together with the number of documents, you can see the documents and amount by entry date. And at the same time, you can see also the number of touches, the measurement, which for users of Vim is one of the most important one, because it shows the level of automation that has been achieved by using Vim.
And am I right in thinking that if I wanted to get this information without this tool, I've got to take it all out and put it into something like Excel and put this together manually? Is that something that happens a lot?
Yes, this happens very a lot, quite often, simply because we do have again, Vim is a very good product, but we do have one operational report which is Vim Analytics, and then we have a lot of different tables which contains the data, but in general, to get this level of detail which we are providing here, you would need to combine several reports and tables together.
Yeah.
Which does, of course, take time from analysts. So, and here with this product, we are basically taking away the effort of composing the data and just giving the time for analyzing the data.
Yeah.
So coming back to the automation, we do have our automation dashboard, which is showing basically the number of touches, again, in the specific period, per specific vendor, per specific company code. You can slice and dice your data as much as you want with a simple click of the mouse. And then you can see, for example, again in the year 2023, how many exceptions happened. And for example, if we select just one vendor to have it easier, we can see, okay, on this vendor, we did have approval required for the non-PO, and then applying the business rule was the action that have been done. And we can see actually that our performance on this vendor is pretty good, because we did not have many touches that were there.
And so for in terms of just understanding what this is for, I guess that one of the processes that people go through is you have to find where your bottlenecks are to clear them and make sure that people have more time, right? Is that what that is focused on?
Exactly, precisely, because this tool is this dashboard is indeed to find the bottlenecks. So what are the exceptions that happen most often, and what are then the actions that are taken to resolve them? And for example, if we select this another vendor, then we can see here that there is a waiting for the good receipt, uh, and this is, for example, one of the exceptions that is taking that is happening a lot, and of course processing it takes a lot of time. So one of the actions that business analyst or AP manager could take away from this is to work specifically on the communication towards the line of business, to do the good receipts more often, to be just on top of this task.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And we've had a lot of feedback from clients over the years that the way they've used this tool is to find those bottlenecks, address the common ones, and free people up to do more impactful tasks. And I think it's an interesting thing. Automation is about a journey. It's not about, oh, we just turned it on and it worked. So that's where I think a lot of our clients have come back to us and said they find this tool most useful.
Exactly, because it can give you the month over month insight into how you have improved, and what is the next bottleneck.
Absolutely, great.
So then one more report that I would maybe show and look into is the OCR performance, which is focusing on the first automatic recognition rate. So out of, for example, all the documents that are in the scope for the OCR, how many times did we manage to extract the value out of the invoice, just purely by OCR, not talking about the validators in case there is a validation step in a company, but just how many times did we manage to get the field correctly, or at all. And then, as you can see on the invoice date, we are pretty good, but then already total amount was not extracted in 739 times, and so on and so on. Then in the validation ratio, you can see, okay, out of all the extracted data points, so for invoice date, how many times did we have to actually change this invoice date? And we can see that in 337 occasions we had to change the invoice date, and same is with the total amount, and so on and so on, right? And this gives us pretty good overview on how our OCR works, again by vendor, by entry date, so we can see also what is the progression in the training of our OCR.
That's a really interesting point, isn't it? It's, progression is the right word, because a lot of people, to even now, we come across clients who aren't aware that OCR is is doing what it's doing for them. So for them to be able to see how it's progressing, how it's learning, how much more impact it's having is vital, right?
Indeed, indeed. I mean, OCR is the key for automation because, in general, what I showed on the automation dashboard, all the business rules, they are relying on the correct data that is coming from the invoice and then being compared with all the other data points in the system. So, but if data that is coming from the OCR is not the correct data, then you either miss on automation or you are really having the risk of having the invoice posted not correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. And all this comes down to risk, doesn't it? I mean, we've spoken a lot about things like the more manual touches you have, the more risk. The less awareness you have of what's actually going on, the higher the risk. Do you agree with those statements?
Yeah, indeed, indeed. I mean, again, we have 10,000 invoices, and each invoice, if we do it manually in any shape or form, it does pose a challenge, right? And of course, I mean, this is relatively small number of invoices, but we have customers with millions of invoices,
Yeah.
and again, yeah, even the fraction of the percentage does give you high risk.
Yeah. 1% of a million is a whole lot of cash.
Exactly, exactly. Then next dashboard that I would like to show you is the data analysis. And in the data analysis, we are slicing or let's say splitting the invoice receipt or invoice processing into the few chunks. So even I mean, invoice processing starts even before we receive the invoice, and by vendor issuing the invoice, but maybe not sending it to us, or maybe sending, right? In any case, for example, here we can see that how many days has passed until invoice has reached our mailbox, or in general any of our input channels. So we can see that some invoices were received within a day, and for some of them we had to wait more than 5 days. And of course, if you have to wait more than 5 days for an invoice and you have payment terms of, let's say, 10 days, then you are seriously in the risk of delaying this payment.
Yeah. Which obviously, again, bring it back to risk is reputational, financial.
Exactly.
There's a few things there, but also I guess this helps you when it comes to maximizing cash flow, right? Because it could be that you have better payment terms if you pay in a certain date. So this gives you a bit more of an overview of how you can get to that. Is that correct?
Exactly, exactly. I mean, this basically gives you the ability to strengthen certain points in the process, and then instead of you chasing the invoices, putting you in the control of invoices, and then basically you can consciously decide what do you do with your cash flow with your invoices. If you do want to pay early and get a discount, you can do that. And of course, if you do want to pay late and get longer payment terms, you can also do that, right? Instead of just saying, I mean, we heard numerous customers saying, yeah, I mean, forget the cash discount. I mean, we are struggling to post the invoice within 30 days.
Yeah.
So and by looking into this dashboard and focusing on, okay, how can we reduce these bottlenecks here? How can I reduce that? How can I influence the vendor that he does not send invoice only 5 days after creation? Then I mean, this can really help in gaining control over the overall process.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good comment. Is people have said to us quite a lot. Yeah, I mean, it would be great if we could get that going, but we're struggling to do it in time as it is, because of volume, because of lack of insight. So with a tool like this, am I right in thinking this is a fairly simple connection to the existing Vim systems?
Yes, I mean connection is very simple. I mean it actually consists of installing a small program in the customer system, which then extracts all the relevant data, and then this data is uploaded to the secure Azure location, and from there on, our reporting tool just generates all the visuals that are needed. So
Great.
it's a very simple process and a very simple setup.
And that's and then it's real time, right?
Yes, indeed. Then it's a real time. I mean, when it comes to the reporting, and you get all the filters are real time. Dashboards are refreshed on the monthly basis. So at the beginning of each month, new extract is taken, and so you can month over month look on the progress. And then we do have one dashboard, which is AP dashboard, which is basically a snapshot of your VM work list, and that one can give you daily insight into who is sitting on each invoice and what is the action to be made.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like to show? Is there anything that you think people should see now? Obviously, you can find more on our website and all of the usuals, but is there anything you think people should see?
I believe this was more or less it. I think
Awesome.
these were the major highlights. But of course, I mean, I would encourage everybody to subscribe for a demo, and then we can also have more questions answered.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty personal thing, right?
Exactly.
Organizations have individual errors or issues they see come up quite a lot, and they probably want to address. So yeah, the amount of clients we've seen who have similar issues, I think, is interesting. And maybe we'll come back and do another chat about that one day, because I think it's interesting for people to know that there are others out there having the same problems. No one's unique.
Yeah. I mean, and frankly speaking, I mean, the benefit of this tool is that it has been really peer reviewed by our customer base, and also, I mean, if for example you are thinking to develop the tool internally, then your tool is as good as your requirements are of one single team. But here in this case, we are talking about having requirements for multiple customers and putting them all together and having the review done over many iterations.
Yeah, it's a really strong product, and one of the ones we get the most feedback on that's good, because people often do suggest features and say it'd be great if it could do this, and having seen it grow over its life cycle, I think it's great that it's a client-led product. There's not many of those truly out there, so it is good.
Indeed.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Mary. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jamie. Pleasure talking to you.
Thanks very much for watching. If you'd like to see more from us, check out other content on our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on social media, or you can visit us at www.turnpikes.pro. Feel free to subscribe to get upcoming notifications of our new content, and we look forward to seeing you very soon.